my name is Ginny. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I am an elementary school teacher and a mom of a 1-year-old named Alice, and I'm also expecting my second daughter sometime in June or July. And finally, I am a doctoral student studying early childhood education, getting my doctorate in education. In this video, since it is Women's History Month, I am going to tell you my 5 favorite board books for babies and toddlers that have to do with all about celebrating women. So here's my first book. It's called This Little Trailblazer. This little board book is all about different women who did extraordinary things and reasons why they're trailblazers, and basically encouraging whoever reads it to be a trailblazer themselves. One thing that's particular about the books that I chose is that I made sure to pick books that aren't just for girls. They can be for boys too, and that way boys can really appreciate the different contributions that women have made to the world. So I'm going to show you some example pages after you get to see Alice listening to the book for a little bit. This little trailblazer had the courage and skill to organize hospitals and care for the ill. Wow! Florence Nightingale began the first professional school for nurses. She was nicknamed the Lady with the Lamp. Okay, so let me show you a few of the pages in this book. So you have things like, here's the Florence Nightingale page. So it has a little blurb about Florence Nightingale, and then it has a picture and tells you a little bit about what her contribution was to the world and why she's a trailblazer. One thing I like about this book too is it shows lots of different ethnicities of people. So that way, whatever ethnicity your child is, they should be able to find someone in it that looks like them. So the book is fairly short. It's a book that you could definitely read for if you do books before bed. Definitely a great one to read before bed. The last page actually is a bunch of other women that don't have their own page, but they can learn a little bit about the people. But I love this book. Alice enjoyed this book, and this is my first recommendation for Women's History Month board books. My second recommendation for Women's History Month board books is actually a series. So this series is called Little People, Big Dreams. I chose the Dolly Parton book because she is a national treasure in the South, and I definitely, as soon as I saw they had a Dolly book, this was the only one that I could get. So I definitely wanted to buy the Dolly book. I'm going to insert a clip of me reading some of it to Alice. Her uncle gave Dolly the chance to sing at a local radio station. Yeah, isn't that cool? She wanted to go far in life and become a star. And a library that travels all over the country too. Yeah, a library. So let's take a peek inside of our little Dolly book. And like I said, you can probably find a person that speaks to you or your child or your family. They have a lot of them. So I just picked Dolly because she's wonderful. So basically the book, it has beautiful illustrations and it has short sentences on each page, so it's not like you're going to spend forever, especially for a baby or a toddler. It is hard for them to sit still and listen, of course. So for my daughter, it was really great for me that all of the pages had simple sentences. She didn't have to sit still for very long for each page, and then we were able to move on to the next one. But the illustrations are very colorful. It talks about why they are celebrated, their whole kind of life story, and I really like this series. I'm definitely going to get some more of them. This is the only one I have currently, the Dolly Parton one, but I really like this one. I'm definitely going to pick up more, especially for other holidays or different things like that. The third book on my list is a book that is called Think Big, Little One. It's written by Vashti Harrison, who is an absolutely exceptional illustrator. I actually love her books for my elementary school classroom. She illustrated the art for the book Sulwe by Lupita Nyong'o, and that's kind of how I found her. So as soon as I saw that she had written her own book all about women, I knew that this was a book I really wanted to have, and the art is, as you would expect, beautiful in it. So Think Big, Little One is all about how different women have made impacts on the world and how you should be a dreamer and think big about what you could do too. So here's a clip of Alice listening to Think Big, Little One. Think big, little one. There's a whole world waiting for you. Just look at all the women who made their dreams come true. Marie Curie uncovered new chemical elements. So I want to show you a little bit of the inside of this book and tell you a little bit about why I really like this book. So first of all, as I said, I love the illustrations of Vashti Harrison. She has beautiful artwork. Something else I really like about this book is the volume of diversity in this book. Not only does she have different professions, but she has lots of different ethnicities of people in the book. So everybody can kind of find somebody who looks like them, or you can find somebody that is someone to be celebrated from another ethnicity, which is pretty cool too. My fourth book and my loudest book, I'm a big nerd, so I wanted to have something a little bit nerdy for my daughter, so I got this book that's called My First Book of Girl Power, and this is a DC comic hero book. So one thing I really like about this book, and I'll show you the inside in just a minute after we see Alice listening to this book, one thing I really like about this book is the fact that all of these superheroes in here are celebrated for their abilities and how they were able to change the world, and not just like Wonder Woman's so pretty and cool, and you know, it really talks about all their different superpower abilities, and it really is like a girl power book. So here's a clip of Alice listening to My First Book of Girl Power. My first book of girl power. Girl power. Ready? Supergirl is the only girl left from the planet Krypton. On Earth, she uses her super strength to help people. Batgirl is very smart and can program a computer to do anything. When she's not protecting Gotham City, she spends a lot of time reading books. Just like you, Alice. So here's an example page of the colors. I know I mentioned that this book is super colorful. There are lots of colors going on this page. I really enjoy it, and one thing that I think is cool, like I said before, is the fact that all of the abilities that are celebrated in here are based on their own personalities and skills. So for example, Katana, it talks about how she's hardworking and focused. And for Raven, the reason she's celebrated is because she protects her friends. So it's all different things that children can actually be able to do themselves. So it's not necessarily like Raven has magical powers, so she's awesome. Even though, you know, sometimes they talk about that. But a lot of these are based in things that you really have as a teachable moment to children, babies, and toddlers, which is cool. The last page I'll show you is Wonder Woman. So it says on this page that Wonder Woman uses her golden lasso to get people to tell the truth. So it shows that one of those superpowers is telling the truth. And like I said, I really like the fact that this book focuses on things that kids and babies can take away. You know, babies not so much, but hey, start them early. But they're skills that they can actually take away and use themselves. They're not just skills that, well, Wonder Woman has superhuman strength, so she protects the world. They can actually connect the text to themselves, which I thought is great about this book. So, really good find. So my last board book on my list, and probably my favorite to be perfectly honest, is this one right here. And it's called A is for Awesome. This book is great for about 9,000 different reasons. The first of which being it goes through the alphabet. So once again, if you're working on those ABCs with your child, this goes through A, B, C to E, F, G all the way to Z with different women for what makes them awesome. So I love that about this book. I love the illustrations in this book. I'm going to show you a clip of me reading this book to Alice. Now, you're going to see in the clip that Alice is a 1-year-old, and all 1-year-olds tend to struggle to sit still occasionally, so she wasn't really having it. She was listening, but she's a little mover now. So here's a clip of me reading to Alice, a very real clip of how it goes when you're reading a book to a 1-year-old. H is for Harriet Tubman, the brave abolitionist who helped hundreds of slaves to freedom. I is for fashion legend Iris Apfel, who proves that your style is the best style of all. J is for chef and author Julia Child, whose zest for French cooking inspired millions. K is for Katharine Graham, the formidable first female publisher of the Washington Post. Look at her. She says courage is when you have a choice and you choose to be courageous. Okay, so let me show you the inside of this book. I love this book. It's huge. I mean, you can take a look at how big this is compared to some other board books that I've shown you. It is a huge book, has tons of really thick, beautiful color pages, and I'm going to show you some of them. So here's a sample page, has Lucille Ball on it, and the M is, I think it's Malala, yeah, Malala Yousafzai. So pretty colors, lots of text to read about the different people, a lot of diversity in the types of people, different, you know, you got Tina Turner, so that's something a little bit different with this one. But I loved all of the different people that are celebrated in this book, and I look at all these artworks, they look so good. And they're all about different women that are awesome. So this book definitely I would say is good for girls and boys. I mean, any book's good for girls and boys, but this one literally just tells you all about why A to Z these women are awesome. And I really liked reading this one to Alice, even though at the time that I filmed she wasn't having it. She really does like this book. She likes to touch the pages that I have with a 1-year-old. But this would be good for, you know, 2- and 3-year-olds too, because not only can you go over those ABCs, but you can introduce them to a bunch of different really cool women. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some ideas for some awesome board books for Women's History Month. Definitely a month worth celebrating, and there's so many awesome board books out there that you can actually read to your children. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing. I would really love it. I'm going to do some more videos on different board books I recommend in the future as well. So I will see you next time. Take care.